Ooh, bad girls you'll love to hate all this week on Judge Joe Brown. In the courtroom today.
My niece bought a Jeep for me and refused to pay the balance.
She overcharged me for that Jeep and she's supposed to be family.
A woman learns a lesson when teaching family about responsibility. Merchandise worker Joyce Wade is suing her niece for a car payment. Defendant Tiffany Wade says she couldn't get the vehicle to pass inspection. Now, here's Judge Joe Brown.
You first. Tell me what you're talking about.
I sold my Jeep, my 1998 Grand Cherokee Jeep, to my niece, who is Tiffany, who is my niece, on September the 6th. My sister calls me up and tells me that she would like to purchase the Jeep. Tiffany would like to purchase the Jeep.
That's your sister?
That's her mother, my sister.
I got that. Your sister calls you up, says her daughter, the defendant, your niece, wants the Jeep.
I says I would sell the Jeep, but it was for $8,000. That was the original asking price.
You had some other buyer in mind.
Yes, I did. So she says, well, Gail, you know, Tiffany, which my sister Betty, she says, Gail, well, Tiffany really needs the Jeep for transportation for going to work. I said, well, I have to think about it. So she calls me a couple of later on in the evening.
Hold on a second. Hold on. This Jeep had been in storage for a couple of years, right?
No, not a couple of years. It was a couple of months.
Not a couple of
years, no.
You had other transportation, so the Jeep had been stored, right?
Yes. Okay, my sister calls me and she says, when I told her, I said, well, I could sell it to her as is. She said, okay, done deal. So later on the same day, later on that day, I called her back. I said, so what's going on? She says, I'm at work right now, but I will call you back. She said, don't worry, we're going to take the Jeep. So I would say 2 days later, Tiffany, my niece, which calls me and says, Auntie, could I have the Jeep? She said, but I can't pay $8,000, I could pay you $6,000. I say, Tiffany, I says, I'm really taking a loss here. So she says, Auntie, but I can't afford to pay the $8,000. I said, okay, so I'll agree for the $6,000. And I said, Tiffany, this is a business. I don't want to hear anything about aunt, niece, and all that. She said, okay, I'll agree with that.
All right, now you have receipt.
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Let me take a look at that. Please, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Sonia. All righty. Here's a receipt, $2,600.
Yes.
Showing a balance due of $3,400.
Yes.
There were to be 3 separate payments on this.
Yes.
One as acknowledged, one to be $400, and one to be the balloon payment at the end of $3,000.
Yes.
No. Have you received anything further on this than the acknowledged $2,600?
No. After I received the $2,600, okay, she was supposed to came and gave me the full amount on that day. On that very particular day that I was supposed to.
Did you get $2,600?
She came. She put it in an envelope. I went to my sister's job to pick up the money. Okay, Tiffany wasn't there. She had to go pick up the money from I don't know where, but I waited at the job. I spoke with Tiffany on the phone from the hospital, my sister's job. She says, Auntie, I cannot give you the $2,600. I cannot give you the full amount right now, but I can give you $2,600. I need $400 to cover me for the rest of the week at work. I said, Tiffany, see, I didn't want to go through this.
That was supposed to be $3,000 as the first payment. So that's why we break it down into $2,600 and $400. Well, that still goes back to this. Have you gotten anything more than the $2,600?
No, nothing whatsoever.
I got that from what you put. So that was my question. Answer is no.
No, okay.
So you have a balance due and owing of $3,400.
Yes.
And you, young lady, say that you had problems getting the Jeep through inspection, so you traded the Jeep, the 98, in on a 99 Jeep. So now you don't owe your aunt any money. What do you have to say?
My aunt asked me to do her a favor.
Do her a favor?
Yes, to store the car in Long Island at my godmother's house for 2 months because she couldn't afford insurance. Could I do her a favor and ask my godmother?
She couldn't afford insurance?
Yes.
Here is the receipt for the insurance she activated to protect you and her once the vehicle was acquired so that you could get your own.
She asked me to do her a favor, like I said, to put the car in my godmother's garage for 2 months. She left it there for a year and a half.
And how old is your godmother?
64 years old.
And that is not your age group. That's her buddy, not yours.
She don't know my godmother like that. She asked me to do her a favor. I did her a favor.
Look,
Put the
a full-grown woman doing something for her niece with another full-grown woman doesn't need anybody they perceive as a child to come intervene to do it.
She asked me to do a favor. Okay, well, she asked me to do her a favor. She left it there for a year and a half.
A year and a half?
My godmother asked her, could she get the car
So
out
a year and a half would have made you all 19 years old to know about all of this. Yeah, I'm really persuaded.
Okay, well, she left it there.
I really buy that.
My godmother asked me to get in contact with Gail. We asked Gail to move the car out the driveway. So
You're doing her a favor.
My mom asked her.
You're doing her a favor.
Yep. Put it in my godmother's garage.
What favor did you do? You
because
didn't
if it was
pay
on
the
the
whole
streets,
price.
if it was on the streets, it would have been told.
We'll be right back with Judge Joe Brown.
She talked to my mother. Did you hear that from the beginning? She made the deal with my mother, never with Tiffany.
And later today,
you bought it on your account with an agreement to the effect that he was going to pay you back. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I told him in the store, don't screw me over, because,
Hold your hand up. Let me see. What's it look like? Well, it's got sparkly stuff on it. What's that all about?
It's just diamonds.
it's Joe time after this. Lying, cheating, and fighting. Bad girls all this week.
We're back with Judge Joe Brown. The defendant in this case says she stored her aunt's Jeep for a while and later purchased it. She felt she was doing her aunt a favor, although the plaintiff felt otherwise. Let's take a look.
Now, you know what your problem is? It says as is, buyer beware, caveat emptor.
She didn't say that. She talked to my mother. Did you hear that from the beginning? She made the deal with my mother, never with Tiffany. She made the deal with my mother.
I've had enough of your foolishness.
Okay,
Let's show
cool
you how
too.
much it is, Big Mouth. You get interest on this. You're asking for $3,600. Let's make it $4,217. I'm adding the usual amount of interest on that for the time this has been out. And Big Mouth learned something in life. Now, there you go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Got your calls, too.
This courtroom is now in recess. The defendant says she brokered a deal for the plaintiff. She got a spot for storing the car. Nothing she said after that mattered. The thankless attitude ended it for the judge. She'll pay the plaintiff. Now, we're on to the next case. Please raise your right hand. Administrative assistant Amarina Lukens is suing her ex-boyfriend for a ring and a trip to Hawaii. Defendant Jared Leland says the plaintiff ruined his clothing.
Let's go to you first. Now, what's this promise ring?
This promise ring, we both agreed that he wanted to get me something for going away for 4 months, basically saying...
Now, how long had you been involved at that time?
8 months.
8 months, that right?
Roughly.
So you say you were going away. Is that the trip to Alaska? You were going to work in, what is it, a bait shop or something up there?
No, I work on a lodge that does fishing
Fishing boat.
excursions.
Okay, you're going to work on a fishing boat. One of those dangerous catch type things?
No, I was a cook on a lodge for guests.
Oh, okay. So he wanted to get you a promise ring.
Yeah,
Well, how does it come about that you're the one that charged it?
because we went to go pick one out, and once we found one that we both liked, he ran his credit to get it, and his credit was denied for some reason.
Well, why don't you just turn around and walk back out and say, well, when you get back and get your credit together, then you can get me one.
Because we both really wanted it at the time. So.
You really wanted it.
She wanted it.
So you bought it on your account with an agreement for, to the effect that he was going to pay you back. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I told him in the store, don't screw me over, because, we weren't planning on anything.
I don't understand the logic.
In the agreement that he would pay on it while I was gone.
Well, who has the ring now?
I do.
Well, you two are broken up.
Mm-hmm.
So why should, give me an answer to this, why should he pay for a ring or an item of property you have that you wanted after you broke up?
Because it was our agreement at the time. I wouldn't have bought myself an 800 piece
Well,
of
you
jewelry.
did.
If I would have known that he wouldn't be paying it back, it'd be a completely different story.
So, by the way, when did this promissory note get signed?
On October 15th of 2007.
Now, that's after you broke up.
Yes.
Well, what's that got to do with this ring?
He hadn't paid for it yet.
Well, what broke you two up?
When I came home, it was like a completely different person. He was lying to me. He was drinking excessively. I would call and ask him where he's at on things I would ask him, to do me simple
Wait a minute, you kept
favors.
calling him asking where he was at.
Yes, sir.
This is after you came home, you want him to account for his whereabouts?
She was already living in a different, we lived together, and once she got back from Alaska, she went to a different house to stay with her friends, and I hadn't, we were...
Well, I got that, but it's her case. I want to hear that. All right, now, you two break up. Why do you two then go to Hawaii?
Because we had already paid for the trip like more than 6 months prior, and it had been an agreement for over a year with me and
So
my
you're
friends.
still on good terms?
We were on good terms at the time.
Now, what is it you say that he owes you for on that trip?
For all of our excursions we went on a boat trip, a helicopter trip. He didn't pay anything for the car.
Did he pay anything?
Yes.
Yes, we split the food in some ways, but we said we'd split it equally.
Well, you two are no longer a number. Why should he pay for the whole thing? Sounds like it's Dutch treat to me.
Because it's only fair to everybody else who went on the trip
Well,
also.
everybody else isn't you too. Pay the dues.
I do pay the dues. I
Well,
paid a lot of
you
the
paid
dues
a
that
little
haven't
bit
even
more. You
included.
only paid 300 of the trip. You paid more.
Yes.
Now, let me see your promissory note that he says he didn't, he signed in blank. See what your paperwork is. All right, I'll read all of this. I may come back to you. I think I probably will. Now, this so-called promissory note is actually, it's on the paper. So you sign right on the dotted, not dotted line, but the brown line, I guess it is, at the top. That what you said you did? You claim the rest of that wasn't in there?
No, there was no amount. There was no specific amount of...
Yes, I noticed it's a line, and then something seems to have been filled in, $13.90. Now,
No.
where did you sign this?
On the bottom by that brown area.
I'm saying where in terms of a
In
geographic location?
In Hawaii.
This was in Hawaii?
Yes.
Why'd you have him sign it in Hawaii?
Because I added up everything that he owes me because we went through all my money that I had because I was going to do a separate trip to a different island, but went through all the money that
You went
I
on
had.
a separate trip to another island.
I was going to.
You're going to. Well, welcome to the club. I mean, when guys take somebody out, women say, oh, I had a nice time. We have to pay the gas, the parking fee, the movie tickets, theater tickets, concert tickets, pay for the dinner. You go to a movie, you got to pay for the popcorn, drinks, and candy, and whatever else. We're flat broke busted when we come back out, and you guys have had a nice date. That's how it feels. You want to be equal, you got to pay the equal dues. I'm not saying this is going to be dispositive of the outcome, but I'm making a point.
We'll be back with more Judge Joe Brown in a moment.
Why'd you break up from your perspective?
We were just not getting along. Like she said, it's been 4 months since we'd seen each other.
You went to Alaska for 4 months.
Yeah, we changed different goals.
I told him that I felt guilty for having feelings for someone else and for just, play touching. We did not have sex. We did not kiss. We did nothing. I was completely
That's
faithful to him.
called learn, dear. In the future, keep your mouth shut.
Closed captioning sponsored by...
We're back with Judge Joe Brown. The plaintiff in this case says her ex-boyfriend didn't have credit to buy her a promise ring, so an $800 ring was charged on her account. After the couple broke up, the defendant failed to pay the plaintiff for that ring. Let's take a look.
How much did the ring cost?
$800.
$800. So what's supposed to happen if he pays for the ring?
He can have it. We can both sell it. I have someone who is interested in it. I just haven't gotten rid of it yet because I want to see what the
Well,
court
I
would
mean,
do
is
with
this
it.
account just running into collections or what?
No, I paid it off in December before the interest kicked in.
Or what kind of ring is it?
It was just a promissory ring.
Well, you have it?
Yes.
What did describe it? Hold your hand up. Let me see. What's it look like? Well, it's got sparkly stuff on it. What's that all about?
It's just diamonds.
What is it, silver?
White gold.
White gold. Can't you sell it?
I can sell it. I have someone who wants to
So
buy
why
it.
don't you just sell it and get your money back? I thought diamonds were a girl's best friend, remember? They appreciate.
Because I can't get the amount that I paid for it.
So you're supposed to have him pay you for that, then he gets it, he gets to sell it.
Yes.
Okay, why'd you break up from your perspective?
We were just not getting along. Like she said, it has been 4 months since we'd seen each other.
You went to Alaska for 4 months.
Yeah, we changed different goals.
Now, what are you talking about? She was running around on you. Why do you have that idea?
Oh, because she told me so.
She told you?
Once.
Oh, she had one fling. It got cold up there and the nights were long.
I guess so, Your Honor.
I told him that I felt guilty for having feelings for someone else and for just, play touching. We did not have sex. We did not kiss. We did nothing. I was completely
That's
faithful to him.
called learn, dear. In the future, keep your mouth shut. Don't tell somebody your speculation. Now, what's this about her having a good left hook?
Excuse me?
You said she had a good left hook.
Oh,
Twice.
Oh, man. Yeah, I came home or came back to the hotel in Alaska the last day. We were staying one night, and we were going back to California.
Oh, you went up and picked her up?
I went up for about 20 days to visit before they closed. And the last night we went, one of her coworkers and myself went to a few bars, and we got back real late, and she was pretty upset.
Why'd you hit him?
They were gone from 2:30 in the afternoon till 2:30 at night. I didn't know which bar they were at. They were at the bar at the hotel first.
So you hit him?
So I hit him. He wouldn't answer his phone, and then he was...
Well, what's wrong with that? He's out with some of your mutual acquaintances.
Well, when you have a flight at 8 o'clock in the morning and you miss it because of your night out...
Did he miss it?
Yes, we missed our flight.
Well, so what?
We missed
there are
our
lots
flight.
of flights back on Alaska Airlines.
Yeah, but it still wasn't the flight that we were on. Plus, he was out, and he came home and was antagonizing me because I was wondering why he was out. I was completely calm for the moment until he...
I know what's going on here. You'd be surprised where this is going. Go ahead.
I don't think I had antagonized
Now,
her.
what about the other time she hit you? What was that about?
I can't even remember. I don't remember the circumstances, Your Honor.
But she hit you twice.
Yeah, once before the time in Alaska, but I don't.
Now, you put up $300 for this trip, right?
To Hawaii?
Yes,
I
you say
paid her
you spent
back after
$300.
we got back. I made 3 different payments. I've got payments.
$300.
It totals up to $300, yes, Your Honor.
Okay, now, your cowboy boots over there kind of messed up. How'd that happen? She poured bleach on them?
Dishwasher detergent. Which
Dishwasher
I
detergent.
believe had
Why'd you
bleach
do
in it.
that?
I got mad at him one day and took all his clothes, none of his nice clothes, I didn't know those were nice, and put detergent on them. I did not know there was bleach in it, though.
Now, see, if I'm being objective, you need to be objective, too. The cut-up in this relationship is you.
Judge Joe Brown makes his ruling after this.
Did an affair cost you money and you have the video to prove it? Call 877-JOE'S-LAW or visit JudgeJoeBrown.com.
So you had a promise ring. You keep the promise ring. You paid for it. It's your property. On this Hawaii vacation, $690 plus $300 comes out at $990. One half is what? One half of $990. Let's just make that last occasion a Dutch treat. So he put $300 in it, you put that in. So that is $495 in the court cost. That's what you'll get.
And this courtroom is now in recess. Sir, go ahead and exit.
Well, the plaintiff in this case says she didn't cheat, but she was involved in some strong feelings and play touching with another man. The judge says that she can sell the ring and she is not the victim in this relationship, but she does end up with something. We'll be right back. We're back. The plaintiff admits she did a number on her ex's clothing, and she also admitted to him that she had feelings for another man. It does not add up to a big win for her, but she does walk away with something.
For information on future cases or to contact this court, check out our website at judgejoebrown.com.